So sit in your favorite cross. Grab your knees. Well, you've done this, right? You've leaned and you've gotten that buttock flesh away from the buttock bones and you feel evenness. If you don't, work on the side that you don't feel as much. That's this side for me. Hold on to those knees. And now without lifting your knees, shove your femurs from this, pushing it back towards the hips. Shove your femurs firmly into the sockets and then lift yourself up. Roll back. You can feel that the chest wants to take over, but where I want you to work is from the crease to the navel band. So pull up there, pull and pull up strongly. Look straight ahead, even just slightly above your horizon. Now, can you keep that feeling of those femurs firm in the sockets? Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Let anything that went on before class, before all this week, let all that be a very distant memory, and bring all your mental faculties to the matter at hand, which is the subject of yoga, which is the culture of the self. Have a longer, slower inhalation, create that vertical extension and horizontal expansion. So on that vertical extension, you might feel the spine grow longer and taller. On the exhalation, feel that the collarbones spreading, the chest opening, shoulder blades moving into your back. Have 2 more breaths like that. And then on your last one, on your exhalation, bow your head towards your heart in gratitude for this time that we have to practice together. In gratitude for the community that we've built at Austin Yoga Retreat. Release your hands and lift your head up. Okay, so what I did after I called the facility, called my dad, called my brother, I did like 6 sun salutes and 1 shoulder opener. So contrary to how when I practiced with you guys on Mondays, I get up at 5:30 and I practice for 3 hours. And then I teach you guys and I'm all limbered up. So that's not the case today. So I'm pretty much going to be in your shoes practicing with you. So I'm not going to go and do this. I'm not going to do the sun salutes to you. I'm not going to do that. But we're going to warm up quickly and correctly. All right. So I eventually have to take my socks off. Let's see. I'm going to leave my 2 layers on. So Adho Mukha Virasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So there we go. The Adho Mukha Virasana, you'll really pull that hamstring back towards the buttocks, spread your calf. If it doesn't spread, do that. Pull the hamstring back to the buttocks. Extend the top of your ankle towards your toe tips. So all that is nice and flat. Okay, and now you start to come forward. Keep your hands for today. Here I am getting warm right by the heater. For today, keep your hands to your thighs. We can do this together. So I'm here, my fingers are pointing forward. I'm going to push down at the very top of the thigh and I'm keeping my hips back. So I keep my hands there and I start to go forward and I do not let the hips come up. Okay, then I see that my ribs are lengthening along the inner thighs. And I keep that connection, but I still go forward. Okay, and I say, okay, that's probably all I've got. Then I reach the hands out front. Don't be in a hurry to put your head down. keep pushing on the floor. So I push on the floor, keep the hips back, and lengthen the trunk forward. So ribs forward, navel band forward, sternum forward. And then I say, okay, if that's all I've got, then I put my head down. And just take a few breaths there. Stay extending the front of the body. And can you feel your shoulder blades being driven into your back, being driven into the front body? And that sternal notch is moving forward. Okay, now just inhale and sit up. And I think Laura was at class last night. So she knows what we're about to do. We're gonna do that same kind of a different downward dog, but watch first. So I'm gonna use the wall for extra help. So I'm just gonna scoot into the wall and place my hands at the wall, turned out 90 degrees. Yeah, I think you can still see. I turn those biceps and triceps and I suck those upper arms into the sockets. Okay, now I come up on all fours, but I have to move my knees back further than my hips. Yeah, just a bit. Then I tuck my toes. Okay, now here's the important part. You're not gonna be in a hurry to straighten your knees, your legs. So I push the wall and I just lift up a little bit. See, my knees are just off the floor. But the point being, when you lift up, don't let the shoulders come forward. Don't let the chest move forward. So watch again, I'm here and I lift up, I pull the navel up and I'm not going forward. I'm pushing back still. So I keep pushing back. I keep pushing back. I start lifting the hips. I don't let the chest come forward. I keep pushing the hips back, chest back closer to the legs. Okay, stay there for a bit. Okay, now it's your turn. Let me have a look. Yeah. Yeah, and then don't be in a hurry to take the heels down, but do so from the root of the thigh, which is at the crease. Push that back and keep pushing your chest closer to your legs. Shoulder blades deeper into your back. Yeah, good. All right, and then release and come down. Can you take a chair, put it, foot and a half, 2 feet from the wall? Kathy, we've done this before. Marcia, maybe. So I've got, because the chair is cold, I've got a sticky mat on the chair and I've got a sticky mat on the chair bar. And you have a strap. Sit back in the chair, almost as far back as you can get. You have your strap. Put your feet outside of the chair, your heels outside of the chair legs, and squeeze into that, those chair legs. Okay, now my strap, it's a bit tricky. Make it a little wider than your shoulders to start. So you might be, this is a little bit wider than my shoulders. And the tail of the strap is closest to me. It's not on the other side of me. So I start to put it on through both arms, and it's sort of like putting on a, I can say that because Mike's not here. So watch, I've got both straps around, it's looped, and I'm just gonna take it overhead. Okay, now I'll show you from here, this side. I walk it down to the root of the armpit. Okay, now it's too loose for me. It's too loose. So here's the tail. and I pull it so that my arms are parallel. Okay, and I strongly turn the outer arms in. Okay, so now watch. The wall is kind of nice to have the wall. So I hug the chair legs with my inner heels. My buttock is back. And now I'm putting this chair bar at the bottom of my shoulder blades, bottom of my shoulder blades. And I want to lift up and curve back. My palms turn out and I walk down the wall. You've got support for your neck. The strap provides support for your neck. It feels lovely. And you just go as far as you can go. The goal eventually is to get the arms parallel to the floor, but you can go and you can hold for, 4 or 5 breaths. You can come up and you can try again. Can you try 3 times? I've already done mine. Where you want to bend is at the bottom of the shoulder blades. That chair bar is helping you curve over the shoulder blades. You may not get parallel to the floor. It's okay. It has to go lower, Kathy Lindauer. The strap has to be right here. Has to go lower. If it's too tight, you can lose it. Go the other way, Marcia, if you can with your feet. Go outside the chair legs. Outside the chair legs. Hug those chair legs with that inner ankle and curve over that chair bar. This is a warm up for Paryankasana. Okay, if you did 3 times, then you can start. You need 2 bricks. 2 bricks. We'll have 1 brick about there. And I think we did this last night, Laura. I don't remember now. My classes start running together. So it looks something like that. They're the same height and they're on their second height. This being the tallest height, this being the second height. So basically the brick is going to go right there. So show you. Take Virasana legs. If you can't do Virasana legs, Dandasana or Swastikasana is fine as well. Okay, I'll wait till everybody's watching. And if Virasana is difficult but you can do it if seated on a block, then you will just need to raise your shoulder blade block. And you can do that like this. So Kathy, if you're sitting on a block, you could take a blanket and do something like that. So your block is a little higher. The head block may not matter. So that's an option if you're sitting on a brick. If you're not sitting on a brick, that's your plan. Okay, like I asked you to do in Swastikasana when you're seated, is to pull the hamstring, the thigh bone back towards the socket and have a seat. Okay, now I'm going to come down to my elbows. I feel a little close. Come down to my elbows, and now I'm going to put the block across the shoulder blades. And there's my head block. Quite nice. Okay, now I push the elbows in and lift. What if the block wasn't there, right? I kind of lift off the block a little bit. Keep lengthening your thighs towards your knees. Lift off the block just a little bit. Okay, now if that's fairly easy, fine. Start to work with the length of your trunk. Push into the wall. So I'm just a teeny bit close, but I'm not too far off. So I'm just gonna scoot forward. Push into the wall. Keep sending your thighs towards your kneecaps. Keep the groins down and soft, and extend that spine. Make your trunk longer and longer. Push the wall. How are we doing? If it's too easy, maybe Laura, I'm not sure. If it's easy, you can try the tall block. That looks good. Try not to let the knees separate too terribly much. Okay, then inhale and come up. Now everybody will try the tall block. So make the tall block, make the tall block. Doesn't matter. Find your shoulder blades. Now it's not as wide, right? So put it in the middle of your shoulder blades, center of the spine. Keep the buttocks down, arch back. So there you are. Now this time, you'll reach the arms up and you'll hold your elbows and reach the arms overhead. This is intense, but it feels fabulous. At a recent workshop with Patricia Walden, she said as she has aged, she realizes she needs back bends more in her life, and she uses a lot of support. She says, why do we practice these things? She says, for upliftment, courage, power, compassion, and a connection with spiritual heart. So the sternum is the seat of the spiritual heart. So you've got that brick, and imagine that brick is pushing the sternum up and exposing that spiritual heart of yours. Okay, now bring the arms up, switch the cross of your elbows, and go over again. If you can, reach your elbows to the floor and press the elbows down to lift those shoulder blades into your back more. Paryankasana. Okay, now switch and take the arms out and come up. Use your elbows on the floor, head back, lift yourself up. Okay, now you have a strap still. Strap. So is there anybody not doing Virasana? Oh, you know, come out of your Virasana and just iron out the backs of the knees, Dandasana.
I'm not doing Virasana.
You're not doing Virasana, okay.
Yeah.
Can you do Supta Virasana with a bolster? It's torture.
Probably, yeah.
You can do it with a bolster.
I think.
All right, if you need a bolster, take a bolster. So you're in Dandasana and you're just ironing out the backs of the knees. If you need help to intelligize the skin, pull it back towards the hips. Roll the shoulders back. Press the knees down. I don't care if the feet are apart or press those knees down. Okay, now, so once Supta Virasana, I can't tell you. When I first started Iyengar Yoga, I was in tears in Supta Virasana. True confessions. I cried almost every time I took it. I was a runner. I was running 50-mile weeks. My quads were so tight. My hamstrings were so tight. And it literally, I was in tears every time I did Supta Virasana. So it's taken me many, many years. But what we want to get at to open for the back bends is this area right here. You know, it's about what, 3 inches above the crease and 3 inches below the crease. And it's this whole pelvic opening. So what I'm going to do for me is to belt underneath my shins, over my thighs, and at the root of the thigh, right there at the top of the thighs. And it's pretty snug. So Kathy, I think, is pretty safe in Supta Virasana with the bolster. Okay, so as I go over, I'm in Paryankasana-like, and I can use my hands to scoot the buttocks forward. And I keep shooting the thighs inner and outer. So don't let your knees roll in. Try to keep the inner knee and the outer knee even. And then I come down as flat as I am able. You know, for a while, I used a rolled up washcloth with a couple of rubber bands around it. It's great how you can make props. And that kept my tailbone lifted. But here you can, by the back of the thighs, tailbone, scoop up that tailbone, pull it as if you've got a lever on your tailbone and it's coming up toward the pubic plate. And press the thighs, the tops of the thighs from top, you know, from the top of the thighs to the knees. Okay, now here's another thing where your arms begin to help you. So watch, here's how I used to do it. These ribs, Marsha, and I think Marsha and I have some tendencies to overdo here in these ribs. So I want to keep that tailbone area tucked and keep the compactness of the thighs to keep these ribs down. Not this, but I keep the ribs down. Then I can go overhead and I can push the wall and keep those ribs down. Yeah, it's intense on the front of the thighs, but that's what is required to open that pelvic band and that root of the thigh for the back bends. Pull the ribs down towards the back body. All the superficial muscles of the abdomen pull down towards the floor as you keep lengthening the tops of the thighs towards the knees. I don't know any other way to describe it, but you know, the crease of the buttock, where the crease of the buttock meets the top back of your thigh, that area has to be active. Hold up and in, lifted, firm. Supta Virasana, to open up the pelvis and the wings. Very important. Okay, how are we doing? And Laura, did you did it and then you're just done with Virasana? You talk. Because you had a good Virasana and you're just done, huh? Unmute yourself. Do you see Sopo?
It hurts my knees. I don't feel it in my thighs or my pelvis. I just feel it in my knees. And so,
you know, we'll move on, but at home, when you're working on it, you take, you know, 1 or 2 blankets, put your knees up on your blankets, have this for your tailbone to start. And then go over. See if you can get to something like that. And your knees are supported. So, you know, if I'm like this, can you see that my knees are at the same level of my pelvis? That's the idea, right? So for me, you know, because I can do it. Same relationship. So if it hurts, then you support the knees. Okay. We move on. Come up, swing the legs out, Dandasana. Decompression of the backs of the knees. Pull the thighs back, press the thighs, knees down, roll the shoulders back. Okay, we're ready, here we go. Take your chair, put it against the wall. I'll give you an option. If you don't have a chair, we did this last night a different way, Laura, where we had it with two blocks. So let me show this way first. So I've got a chair at the wall. I've got a sticky mat over the chair, and I'm able to put my foot up on that chair. I'm going to do the same side as you. So watch, I'm stepping apart, bring the right foot to the wall, to the chair, and then I'm going to hold on to the wall. Then I'm going to take that foot and press it into the wall. Okay. The front leg hand goes on the front hip near that crease. And I pull that front hip back. The back leg hand goes on the buttock. It goes right here. And you're turning that back leg thigh from inside to outside. So here we are. So here's the goal. The goal is to stand the pelvis up as vertically as possible without the trunk coming forward, and to drive the femur into the socket and to keep the hips straight on to the wall. Okay, so here I go. And I'm gonna bend, pull that right hip back, turn that back thigh inside out. So let's see. Let's have you do it with a motion. Don't take the back leg with you. Keep it pressing back. 5, 6 times with motion, and then switch. All right, the other option is to do it on 2 bricks, but everybody seems to be doing well. So stay upright, Laura. Stay upright, hands on your hips, or the back hand on the back of the thigh, and then with motion. So it's Virasana. The weight has to go to the back leg. Kathy, don't let the back leg come forward. Keep it back. So you're bending and straightening, bringing your front thigh, the thigh that's on the wall and the chair, to parallel to the floor. Yeah. Really push the ball of the foot into your wall and drive that front leg femur into the socket. Keep the back leg buttock soft, but the thigh strong. You can use 2 bricks, Laura, if you'd rather do that. Yep. I'm back there, Marcia, and I've got a strap around your back thigh, and I'm not letting it come forward. Okay, switch legs. Now, you guys are doing great. Really help that back thigh to turn from inside out. And stand up the head of the pubic plate, pelvis, ribs back. I think it would just be Sopo that I would be concerned about those ribs. Yeah. So you're kind of, Patricia referred this to as, you're lubricating the hip sockets, the head of the greater trochanter and the lesser trochanter, which is closer to the adductor and the abductor muscles. And they tight, especially when we've been sitting around more than we have been lately. Maybe not able to get out and walk as much, although if I know Kathy Lindauer, she's still walking. Okay, so that's just your warm up. Come up, get rid of your chair and or your bricks. Take a strap. We did this last night. So I'm going to come up close and personal to show you. I'm hopefully thinking that your arms and shoulders got kind of loosened up and opened up from the seated Paryankasana that we did. So here I go. I'm going to put this strap on, and the space between, that's too much. The space between my two hands is about 2 or 3 inches. How do you know if it's right? So I twist the strap and voila, my hands easily go together. Got it? I'll do it again. So I'm here. And actually it might be better if you have the buckle again closest to you on the top side of your hands or the thumb side. And then, just twist whichever way and the palms are together. Okay, now be careful. Come to your mat, the front of your mat. Remember, you don't have your hands, so you're really relying on your legs now. I'll do the same side as you. So you're at the front of your mat and you're just gonna step the left leg back. The toes can turn about 60 degrees, 75 degrees. If you're unstable, go wider. That means more space between where the left foot is and the right foot. So the right foot would come more to the outside edge of your mat. Okay, now you don't have your hands to help you, but press that back thigh back, push the ball of the foot of the right of the front leg and pull the femur into its socket. Take your arms up and overhead. Go back with those arms. Push on that front foot. Virabhadrasana 1. Why do we do Virabhadrasana 1 with most back bend classes? Because it elongates the spine and it moves the spine into the body. Inhale. On your exhalation, bend and come into your square. Even extension of the inner and outer thigh. Bend and come into your square. Come on. Bend and come down into your square. Elbows should be straight, Sopo. Elbows should be straight. So if you don't have your strap right, that it won't help you. Make sure it's really tight and get those arms back. Press your palms together and take your arms back. Reach the trunk up. Lift your chest and arms back any amount, Marcia. Bend and come to your square. Okay, then release. If you're unsteady, you can take your strap out, walk back to the front of the mat. That looked good. It doesn't look like many of you are holding back and not getting that front thigh absolutely parallel. Step back to the front of your mat. Have your strap ready. Yeah, I'm gonna tighten mine just a little bit more. Turn the palms. Step back with your right leg. Toes can turn about anywhere from 45 to 60 degrees. Turn that right hip forward, push on the front ball of the foot and drive that front leg back to the hip socket. Press that back thigh back and turn the inner edge of the back thigh out. Then take the arms up. Okay, now push on that front foot. Stand up the head of the pubic plate, the ribs. Turn the right hip forward, taking the left hip back. Inhale, then exhale. Come down into your square. Back thigh. Press it back. Lift up. Lift up. You can look up beyond your, all right, look up the ceiling. Come on down, 2 more inches, Laura. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, that's usually the case. Elbows in, outer arms in, outer upper arms in. Yeah, good tracking of the front leg, Kathy. Back leg just needs to really push back. Don't list towards the back leg side. Yeah, that looks good, Marsha. You're nice and straight with that back leg. Okay, and now inhale and come up. Stand in Tadasana. Still have your strap. Let's just do one Urdhva Namaste. Take the arms up. So, let's see. I'm gonna have to kneel to show you, but what I see is something like this. So what I wanna see is something like this without these ribs poking forward. So these hips have to wrap to the front. There's this wrapping action of the hips. And the arms have to go back, 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 back. Pull up, and take those arms back. Open up your armpits. Okay, your turn, Urdhva Namaste. Watch the thighs coming forward, Marsha. Take those thighs back, ribs back. Pull the weight of your trunk quite literally off your legs. Stand down on your heels and open up the armpit chest. Okay, release from that. Okay, how about everybody either try a handstand or a half handstand. If you're not doing either, you can do elbow work. If Chaya were here, she'd be doing it from her forearms. So here's your choices. One, of course, being just regular. Go up. 2, turning yourself around. Walk up. 3, elbow balanced. Walk up, push the shoulders back, lift the chest up. Okay. Try 3 things. You can do all 3. You can do 1 of each. You can do 3 of the same thing. Just make sure you're warm. Scrub the heels up the wall, Sopo, and push the floor. Pull the tailbone up and in. That's it, Kathy, good. Now drive, if I was there in front of you, I'd put my knees in your shoulder blades. Push your shoulder blades deeper into your back, and now lift your chest and your sternum up towards your navel. Yeah, commit, Marsha. Yeah, and push. Excellent. Elbow balance, Laura. Normally practice any handstands? Not normally?
No.
Yeah, if you, okay, that's all right. If I hadn't learned them, well, I learned them when I was, I don't know, I was a cheerleader, so I'm cheating. I did them when I was really young. Okay. All right, now let's, okay, I'll just make sure everybody's down. All right, I'm gonna do headstand briefly with movement. This is how I'd like for you to try to do it, okay? I'm only gonna show this once and very briefly. And I don't want you to stay long. Let me see if I can talk myself through it. So I interlace hands, press the forearms down. Now here again, the weight is in my forearms, my head. I can almost lift my head off the floor. But how I'd like for you to come up today is from Ekapada. So you're like this, and that leg goes up. You could bend it and come back down. Bend it in, that leg goes up and come back down. Okay, bend it, up, come back down. Bend it, and up. So you're always doing Ekapada. Do that 3 times through. And then if you want, you can go up in your regular Shirshasana and stay for 1 minute. Walk in, Kathy. Walk in more with that bottom leg. Okay, the root of the thigh, the leg that's lifting up for the Ekapada, it has to really go from the root of the thigh. That's better, Kathy, yeah. This is how we learn to go up with either bent knees or 2 legs together. We have to get that first leg lifted so much. Good, Marcia, yeah. Okay, if that's your 3rd try, then you can go up however you're going up, and you're staying for 1 minute. Laura, you can just do downward dog. Repeat downward dog if you don't do headstand. You can see Marcia. Marcia has the same equipment that I have. If you've got the gallery view on, the feet up. So Marcia, really press your hands down and pull your elbows in. It's not that I want you to narrow your elbows, but the energy of the elbows has to move in. And lift literally that, top of your buttock up towards the legs, up towards your heels. Yeah, Laura, you're very even. You're the 2 sides of your hips, the buttocks, very, very even. The shoulders, not so much. Do you have any problems with your left shoulder? No?
Yeah, it's this side of my neck.
Oh, yeah, it looks like there's a lot less space here from the neck to the ear than the right.
I was rear-ended by 3 cars about 10 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I can relate.
Pulled all this tight.
Yeah, I can relate. Same thing. Not 3 cars, but 1 was enough. Okay, there goes your minute. Now, what I want you to do to come down is to come down very evenly, either 2 at the same time, straight or bent knees. So you kind of bend your knees and you bring your knees towards, keep bending. Oh, what happened, Kathy? All right. Do a nice Adho Mukha Virasana or whatever suits you. Grab your chair. Laura, you can go ahead and get ready like me. Let's see, this way. Don't really need the sticky mat across the chair bar. So we've done, go ahead and sit up. We've done chair, Viparita Dandasana, lots of different ways, lots of different classes. So this is this is a test that you know and you know what you need. Okay, so I am very, very open in my thoracic spine. Okay, I don't need more help in my thoracic spine. You might need more help in your thoracic spine. I need more help in across my hips. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways with the bolster to do Dvipada Viparita Dandasana today. And then you should know what you need. Okay. So the first way, I'm going to show it with help for the chest, the thoracic spine. So I'm going to move it a little bit closer to the edge of the chair. I'm going to sit through the chair. And now, you know, my buttock is to the other side of the bolster. Remember this first one is for the thoracic spine. You need more help and upliftment there. The second way I'm going to show you is for the hips and the groins. So I go over the chair. And now, you know, I keep going over the chair and I keep the thoracic over that edge of the chair. Eventually, maybe I can release a little bit more. Maybe I can straighten my legs. And I extend my arms. Okay, that's one. If you're not sure what you need, watch the second one. You can do both and see which one gives you more benefit. So I'm going to scoot this a little bit closer to this chair's edge. I've often said that I'm going to get my sewing machine out and make a bolster that fits inside this space, but I haven't done it yet. Okay, now I'm going to come up and put my hips high up on that bolster. My arms go much closer to the chair. Maybe I can, you know, bring my elbows because my chest is already pretty open. So this gets this opening in the groins and the pelvis. Then maybe I start to straighten the legs, but I can't straighten the legs without, there we go, taking the toes up. So you decide what you need. And if you want to do both, fine. I'm going to put the timer on for a couple of minutes. And I want you to find your place that you need most opening. And I want you to stay. In Patricia's workshop, she said, let's see if I can find the quote. Oh, she said, with repeated practice, our mind will begin to experience more wisdom. Okay. This is a gift as we age. When BKS was young, our Guruji, when he was young, he played in asana. As he got older, he stayed. So right now, we're staying. See if you can stay. And if you've got the chest one, can you work a little bit on the extension of the groin and the legs by pressing the hamstring to the buttock? Lift there. So the hamstring comes up towards that buttock crease, and where that buttock crease is, lifts, stays firm, I might say. No arms to the floor, Kathy Lindauer? No, okay. To the floor, to the floor. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Now you can maybe even push, feel like you're doing a little bit of Urdhva Dhanurasana. Laura, yeah. Do you have anything on your chair, Laura? You don't know. Okay. All right, Laura, you need to get my cell phone, and we can talk about props. I used to have a studio that held 20 people, so I have lots of props. 30 more seconds. So sit there, Laura, and do a chair twist. Knees together, feet together, and turn to your right. No, you were right. Sit side saddle. Sit side saddle. You were right. Yeah. And turn to your right. Bring the left hand to the middle of the chair, the right hand to the chair seat behind you. Right hand to the chair seat. Yeah, and turn. So this is the only twist you should do while we're still doing back bends. Okay, and now you guys can come up carefully, bend your knees, take your arms over to the chair, head back, walk your feet in, head back, lift your chest. Okay. Get rid of your chair. Lie prone. We're going to skip the standing one tonight, Laura. We're just going to go for Ardha Bakasana. Let me see. Oh, she's going to try the second one. What do you think, Marsha? Which one is better for you? Yeah. So a very, very senior teacher, David Maloney is his name. This is where I got this one from. Yeah, and I just love the way it feels across the lower pelvic area and the root. And then maybe to work on it, Marsha, you put 2 blocks at the wall and you press your heels into the bricks. Very nice. Okay, Ardha Bakasana. So lie prone. Put your forehead down and take your both hands and from your pubic plate, draw up from the pubic plate, the pelvis, the abdomen, the ribs, the chest, lengthen upwards. Okay, now little slide. Can you see that motion? Let's see. So I'm sliding, I'm contracting, hamstring buttock, and I'm compressing. Watch again, it's subtle. I slide, I push in my Chaturanga Dandasana hands. I slide a little bit so the back of the body is going towards my feet. The front of the body is going towards my head. Slide, contract, hamstring to buttock, compress. That means I'm compressing the hips, the buttocks. I'm making everything nice and firm. Okay, so we're doing that. And then we come up on whatever elbow you want to come up on so you can still see the screen. But I'm coming up on my right elbow, crossing it right. So my elbow is in line to my shoulder. It's crossed over. I reach back, I bend the left leg. I externally rotate. My elbow points towards my sacrum. And I grab the top of the foot. Okay, then I'm internally rotating, bending the elbow, walking that to my toes. So my 5 fingers line up to my 5 toes. Now I push that foot to the floor, and I strive to keep the trunk facing forward and lift it. So I push on this floor where my the supported hand is across the body, and I lift up. And I push that foot down as much as possible. How we doing? You can use a strap if you can't reach it. Safe way to do Ardha Bhakasana. Yeah, look up, don't look at the floor. Good, okay. And release, forehead back down. Use your palms to pull up from the bottom of the pubic plate. Ribs, chest. Slide. Contract, compress. Come up on your whole left elbow. Keep the back, the leg that's coming up now is the right, correct? For most of us, right? So keep that back of the thigh broad, just like you did in Virabhadasana 1. It turned from inside out. Bend the knee. Externally rotate. Move your elbow towards your sacrum. Don't let the knees separate. Keep them close together. And then internally rotate that front, that top of the deltoid and upper arm bone. And now bring yourself back to face forward. Press on the bottom arm. Push down and bring that foot as close to your outer hip. Toes, you really push on the toes. You extend the leg evenly, inner and outer. Right, it might just be Sopo. Laura, you want to try? You, maybe just Kathy and Marcia, you can repeat each side. Kasana. Okay, so do this again, remember? Lengthen, slide, contract, compress. Lift up and bend your knees. Grab both feet at the same time. Turn those upper arms. Push the feet down and lift your chest up. Push the feet down, lift the chest up. Push the feet down, lift the chest up. Yeah, it's not Dhanurasana, it's Ardha Bhakasana. So the whole of the thigh stays on the floor. Yeah, okay, and now release. Just lie, make a little pillow for your forehead. Okay, Shalabhasana. Forehead down. Use your hands to lengthen and pull the front of the trunk up towards the head side. Chaturanga Dandasana, arms to slide, contract, hamstring to buttock, compress. The compression is more like, you know, the front of the thigh coming to the back of the thigh. Because so my legs are strong and working. Now take your hands back, thumbs on the outside for Shalabhasana. Already with the hands on the floor, really reach the fingertips back. Inhale, lift both your thighs and your hands. Push the abdomen down and lift your chest. Reach your hands, back, back, back. Reach, reach, reach. Lift your chest. Strong arms, strong legs. Breathe. Okay, exhale down. Let's just do one more. You probably don't have to do the pulling of the body forward, but you can do the slide. Slide, contract, compress. Extend the arms back, thumbs out. Inhale on your exhalation. Fly up. Pin those outer shoulder bones back. Feel the shoulder blades digging into your back. And your response is to lift your chest. Strong legs. Somebody's back there pulling your legs, though the hamstring is still firm into the buttock crease. And then release down. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do 2 bhujangasanas because I'm always, as always, running out of time. We'll do it. Hey, let's just do the 2 extremes. Let's do a real easy one and then do a harder one. So the easy one would be, still I'm gonna do that again because I came up, pull the abdomen, the pubic plate, the navel, the ribs, the chest, up, up, up. Okay, then I'm gonna slide, contract, compress. Then I'm gonna reach my hands out quite in front of my head. And I'm gonna come up. Easy bhujangasana. See the lumbars are moving towards the tailbone. The tailbone is tucking into the body. The hamstrings are pulling towards the buttocks. Just look straight ahead. Try to straighten the elbows. Everybody should be able to have straight elbows in this version because the arms are very forgiving. Yeah. Pull your chest as if you're still trying to pull it through your arms. You can just look straight ahead. You do not have to take the neck back. All right, come down, make a little pillow rest. Okay, I came up, so I'm gonna do all my stuff again. Pull, up, lengthen, slide, contract, slide, contract, compress. Okay, now, so my hands were here above my head. The true pose is the hands are here at the chest. I'd like for you to go somewhere between your jawline and your chest. You decide. But I'd like for you to get your arms as straight as you can get them. Slide, contract, compress, push up. Straighten those arms, roll those shoulders back. The thighs remain on the floor. Don't lift your thighs away from the floor. Pull that hamstring firmly into the buttock crease. Broaden across those collarbones, elbows in, chest up. Good. All right, and now release. Make a pillow for your forehead. We'll do one more. Dhanurasana. I mean, we'll move on to one more pose, Dhanurasana. So there's 2 ways to approach Dhanurasana. In Light on Yoga, he shows a really, really hard version, but he says this technique should be practiced for beginners. So I go down, I do that again. Slide, contract, compress. The beginner's version is to just bend the knees and lift the thighs off the floor. You can have your hands here. That in itself is difficult. Let's see you do that. And then we'll grab the shins and take the shins back. Lift the thighs, lift the thighs. Somebody's pulling your big toes up towards the ceiling. Yeah, okay. Have a rest, and then we'll do the full pose. Slide, contract, Compress. Bend the knees. Lift up with hands in chaturanga. And then reach back and grab that ankle crease. Inhale on an exhalation. Push the shins back. Toes slightly up. Broaden across the collarbones. Look up. Only one person gave me a side view. That's okay. All right, and then release down. You got one more in you? Take 2 bricks, put them at the wall the tall way. You should be nicely warmed up. Boy, I am. Tall bricks. All right, so Kathy might do this with a bolster. She might do it with 2 bolsters. Not sure. So I'll show the easiest way first. Sopo, you don't need anything. Your head is going to be as close to the floor as possible. I'll just show this way first, and then I'll take the bolster away and show. This is, yeah, you guys can see. Can you see that this is the brick here? Tall brick. All right, so my head is on the floor. I'm going to bend at my wrist. Marsha, you can do this if you need to because of your wrists. Otherwise, you're bending at your wrist and you're keeping the forearms along your brick. So you have to figure out your spacing. So, oh, I forgot this. You bend these and you bring the foot in really close. I'm gonna toe in a little bit, but I gotta get my heels down, okay? Now, I keep the forearms on the brick and I start to lift up, then I push up. I can walk in, lift the buttocks to the hamstring to the buttocks. And come down. Second way, without the bolster. I would like for you to try at least 3 attempts at this on your own, however you'd like to do it. If you don't, the bricks kind of keep you honest. They make you open up your chest first. All right, so watch without the bricks if you need to. If you don't, go and just do it on your own. So here, I'm already lifting the chest up. Walk those feet in, toe in, inhale, come up to the crown of my head. And keep the hands firmly into the bricks, the elbows, or the forearms. And then I go hamstring to buttocks. Walk in, you can have your toes up, you can put the heels back down. Push the floor. Bring your chest closer and closer to the wall. Walk back out to come down. How we do it? Yeah. Nice, Sopo. So Sopo, you don't need to go more towards your chest side because your chest is pretty open. You have to lift the buttocks more. So walk up to your tippy toes. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're in a bit, you're like me. Your chest is already pretty open. So you have to walk up on your tippy toes and lift your buttocks up more. Lift your thighs. Toes in. Yeah, you can lift your toes. Once you're up, it makes you work on your hamstrings. Your hamstrings will burn if you're doing it right. Okay, let me see you, Laura. Oh, you tired? You look like you were doing well. You don't have the strength to come up. So little, you know, show you one other thing. You guys keep on going. So you were, you know, coming up from 2 bolsters is also an option. But you can do it like this. Just another way to work. Yeah, I've got my feet on the other side of that chair. And then you can try little baby lifts. So you're, you know, obviously your legs are a lot stronger than your arms. So you have to use your legs. The chair really makes you use your legs. So you see Marcia trying it. Curve over that chair. Curve those shoulder blades. Yeah, if you can get your hands to the floor, all the better. If you can't, you could still use the bricks. Lots of variations. All right, so both turn sideways and show me one nice one without the wall. Just right there.
I don't think I can do without the wall.
What?
I like how you have faith in me. Thank you.
Well, you have before.
I don't
know
so if I can lift up.
Faith. Let's see. I have a whole bunch of stuff about faith. Faith. Are we doing it? Oh, done. Okay. I was going to try to find this faith stuff. I'll find it and read it. Yeah. Oh, here it is. The opposite of Shraddha. I wish Chaya was here. The opposite of Shraddha, faith, is doubt. How to transform your doubt into faith. Vacillation into confidence. Faith is the starting point. What is something that inspires you to give your time, your effort, and devotion to your practice? Why have you chosen this path? You want renewed health? You want to have restored self-confidence, or a spiritual reality that is beckoning from within? Self-empowerment, restoration of inner harmony. Here's a quote from St. Augustine. The final reward of faith is to see what you believe. Faith gives the seeker energy, courage, and strength. With these, faith is magnified, and we take an important step along our spiritual path. Gotta have it. You got to believe in the effects of what yoga is doing for you.
I definitely do.
Good.
That was really nice, actually.
Yeah. He's a philosopher. His name is Rolf Solvik, Solvik. Just Google him. He's got lots of stuff out there. All right, so to come out of this, I always have, and you should too, if you want to develop your yoga practice, and you should always have a blanket with, I have lots of extra belts, so I put a belt around it, and it's just always a nice blanket roll. So I put my feet maybe 14 inches away from the wall. My buttock finds the wall. Take that rolled blanket, and I pull it up into the abdomen, the lower abdomen, pelvic region, and I go over it. So what it does is it just gives a lot of space to this lower back region that may have overworked in your back bending. So I can go forward, keep the legs strong, the feet extending. and just be there. You can let the arms relax eventually. Stay there for a bit because we're going to do Parshva from here. Parshva Uttanasana. I want you to stay there for another 20, 30 seconds. Okay, now without changing your hips, your legs, your feet, walk your trunk over sideways, quite sideways. Bring your left outside of your right ankle, your right hand about 12, 14 inches away from you, and then bend. Keep going sideways. Don't change the relationship of your buttock bones to the wall. Keep them squared to the wall. Okay, and then come back to center. Lengthen, reach the hands forward. Okay, and then go quite sideways without changing the buttocks on the wall. Right hand to the outside of the left ankle. Left hand outside the foot. Sideways, quite literally, bend your right elbow until it might hit the top of your right ankle. Okay, and then walk back to center. Hands to the wall, push off the wall. Hold your blanket and stand up. Okay. Viparita Karani. Take a tall brick at the wall. Take your bolster or a stack of blankets. Take a strap for your feet. I like to put another blanket this way so my hair is not caught up on the rubber sticky mat. Okay, I've showed, you know, the yogi way to come into this pose. I'll show the easy way. And then maybe for Laura, who hasn't had that many classes with me, I'll show the other way. So the easy way is just to sit literally, I sit with my stronger side away from the wall. So I'm sitting with my left side on the wall. I sit, and then never do I let that side of the body that's on the wall leave the wall. So I kind of brace myself here and here. One leg goes up, then the other. I scoot in. Now, when I go to the floor, my buttocks might have left the wall a little bit, but I just scoot in. See, I'm kind of rocking and rolling and scooting in. Oh, I forgot the strap. I want the strap to be across the middle of your foot so that the legs are wide. Make sure you have enough clothing on. You can have your socks back on, your jacket. And there you are in Viparita Karani. I'm going to get my strap. Oh, I didn't show Laura the other way of going up. Watch, Laura. It's kind of a fun way. So maybe you already know it, but I put my hands near, underneath the bolster a little bit, and I tuck and roll. There I am. Maybe it's because I did a lot of tumbling when I was little. Okay. Strap across the middle of your feet. Wider than your hips, please. Let that lower back get its space. So Viparita Krani. It means inverted lake pose. The lake is this little pool of an indentation here at the pelvic area. You should be actually able to look down and see a little dip from the top of the bottom of the pubic to the navel. There's a little dip there. So you're keeping your legs along the wall, buttock bones at the wall, and let that area go down. From the navel, let it go down. That releases all that lumbar spine work that we may have done. Hopefully you did. You can take your arms out like Shavasana, or you can take your hands, if it's cold, like my floor is very cold here, so I'm just going to put my elbows on top of my bolster and my hands folded just quite naturally just above my navel. Make sure the back of your neck is nice and long. You're going to stay here for a bit of Shavasana as well. But here I'd like for you to find the space, the inner space that tends to get, clogged up with life and too much sitting, usually too much driving. Not so much the case right now. Out that space. Imagine you have like one of those minor lights on, or my kids go camping and they have these lights that fit across, like a headband that fit across their forehead. And imagine you're scanning, looking for that space you created. Find that space and just be. Gita Iyengar once said, she always would say, you people, and she was talking to the Americans who consistently came to Pune to learn from her. She said, you people, all you are, you are human beings, but all you do is do and do and do. Ever be, she said, direct quote, just be. Observe your being self. Find that space and just be. Be present with that space. I'm sorry I've kept you over. Release your foot strap. Push on your bolster. Then bring your feet down to parallel to the floor. Keep pushing on your bolster and bring your buttocks just in front of the bolster and your feet on top of the bolster in Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Okay, then reach your right arm out alongside your right ear above your head. Bring your left leg over, off the bolster, right leg over, off the bolster, lie on your side. Then use the left hand to push on the floor. Look at the floor. Then your right hand comes up to meet the left hand. Head is still down, until you're almost upright. And just sit in whatever comfortable seated pose you can manage. Fold your hands. The gift of practice, wisdom, and a lot of other things. In gratitude for being able to practice today. In gratitude for the community at Austin Yoga Tree and all the teachers who've come before us.